Beloved soul, stop right here and breathe. Something in you already knows this moment carries weight. You didn't arrive here by scrolling. You were led, drawn, summoned by a whisper that touched your spirit before your mind even caught up. That stirring in your chest, that quiet pressure, that holy tension, it isn't chaos. It's God calling your name. You feel it, don't you? The atmosphere around you has shifted, and your heart knows heaven is speaking. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you." And today, that promise reaches straight into the center of your destiny. Chosen one, hear me with your spirit. God is serious about your life right now. This is a divine interruption designed to protect you, awaken you, and reroute you toward purpose. The things you've battled lately, the heaviness, the confusion, the sudden spiritual resistance, were not random. They were signals that heaven is tightening the borders around your destiny. You have been called into spiritual growth, into divine purpose, into a higher level of clarity that will unlock abundance, stability, and a renewed wealth mindset shaped by faith instead of fear. Pause for a moment and feel the nearness of God wrapping around you. This is not a warning meant to frighten you. This is a father pulling his child closer because the next chapter requires deeper awareness, sharper discernment, and a heart aligned with his voice. Psalm 32:8 says, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you." His gaze is on you right now. His hand is steady over your path. His spirit is whispering directions that will guide you into breakthrough and personal transformation. And beloved, if your heart feels this word settling deep, if you sense the seriousness of what heaven is releasing over you, then let this be your moment of agreement. Some chosen ones express their gratitude not as a transaction, but as a seed of faith, and even a simple super thanks becomes part of their own elevation. If you feel that gentle pull, let your offering be a whisper to heaven that you receive this alignment. Because something sacred is unfolding. God is repositioning your spirit. He is separating you from distractions. He is waking up the strength that heaviness tried to bury. This is a holy moment, and you are not listening by mistake. You are listening because God has decided it's time to speak plainly, directly, and powerfully into your life. Your calling is rising. Your discernment is sharpening. Your destiny is shifting into focus. Stay with me, beloved soul, because what comes next will reveal why heaven insisted you stop and hear this. Chosen one, the weight you've been carrying lately has not been punishment. It has been preparation from a God who refuses to let you drift into danger or miss the moment he has ordained for your elevation. You've been feeling that inner tightening, that pull in your spirit, like invisible hands rearranging the atmosphere around your life. That is not imagination. That is heaven drawing boundaries around your destiny, because God is serious about where you are going. He is consecrating you, separating you, and refining you for a season that demands clarity, strength, and unwavering faith. You've noticed the shift, haven't you? People you once trusted have revealed motives that unsettled your peace. Conversations that once felt light now seem hollow. Environments that once felt comforting suddenly feel too small for the person God is shaping you to become. This is divine intervention. When God begins to escalate your calling, He disrupts anything that threatens your spiritual growth or financial stability. He rearranges the ground under your feet to break you out of cycles that once felt normal but were never meant to define your future. Hear me, beloved soul. When heaven marks you, nothing in your life can remain average. You've wondered why you've been more sensitive lately, more aware of energy shifts, more alert to deception, more protective of your peace. It is because God is awakening your spirit. He is opening your discernment so you can see what once slipped past you. The enemy cannot ambush a believer who is spiritually awake. And God is waking you up for real this time. Proverbs 4:23 tells us, Guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. Your heart is being fortified because your next chapter requires strength, clarity, and holy focus. You have been sensing spiritual pressure, but that pressure is not a sign of defeat. It is the atmosphere of breakthrough forming around you. Heaven is tightening your environment because the path ahead demands higher sensitivity. The warfare you've felt is confirmation that what belongs to you is close. The enemy never fights empty-handed believers. He fights chosen ones with divine purpose and destiny elevation written into their DNA. Chosen one, think back over the past weeks. The sudden emotional waves, the moments of heavy reflection, the flashes of revelation, the dreams that felt too vivid to be dismissed. God has been speaking in layers. He has been trying to get your attention because the next move you make must be guided by Him alone. You've outgrown the habits that once comforted you. You've outgrown the people who wanted you silent so they could feel secure. You've outgrown the environments that fed your old mindset but starved your spiritual identity. This is the growing pain of spiritual transformation. But hear this, the pain is proof of the promise. Just as Joseph was shifted from the pit to Potiphar's house, from Potiphar's house to prison, and from prison to the palace, your own path has been full of disruptions that didn't make sense. Genesis 41:14 shows that Joseph's elevation came suddenly, in one divine moment. That's how your breakthrough is forming. The moments where you felt overlooked were actually the moments heaven was preparing the stage for your unveiling. And chosen one, pay attention to this next part because it holds the core of what God is saying to you. He is serious about your protection. There have been conversations behind your back that you never heard. There were traps set in silence that you never saw. There were spiritual attacks formed against your finances, your confidence, your mental peace, and your future. But every attack failed because God stepped in. Isaiah 54:17 promises, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." You are standing today because heaven intervened on your behalf. You have been preserved for purpose. God saw the hands that weren't clean. He heard the words you didn't hear. He knew the motives you couldn't see, and He shut down what was designed to drain you. You have wondered why some connections suddenly fell apart, why certain people withdrew, why certain doors closed. God allowed it because He is redirecting you to people who will honor your calling, not manipulate your spirit. Your discernment is increasing because the next phase of your destiny requires spiritual precision. Financial stability will not come from the old ways you used to lean on. Abundance will flow from alignment, not exhaustion. Favor will unlock when you begin protecting your spirit the way God has been protecting it for you. If you've been waking between 2 and 4 a.m., that is not random. That is the hour when the noise of the world grows silent and heaven speaks more clearly. Samuel heard the voice of God at night when the world was asleep. The Holy Spirit often awakens chosen ones when distractions are low, when spiritual realms are more open, when your heart is more still. Those moments you felt like getting up to pray, even when you didn't know what to say, that was invitation, not insomnia. Chosen one, the seriousness of God is not a threat. It is a sign of how much value heaven has placed on you. You carry influence, you carry authority, you carry a calling that reaches beyond comfort and into kingdom impact. Even your struggles have been shaping you for leadership, revelation, and divine purpose. God is not letting you slip. He's not letting you settle. He's not letting you shrink back into who you used to be. And hear this clearly. The elevation coming your way will require a renewed wealth mindset. God is breaking the spirit of lack off of you. He is shifting how you think, how you plan, how you prepare. He is moving you from survival into strategy, from worry into wisdom. Philippians 4:19 says, "My God will supply every need according to His riches in glory." That is not poetic comfort, it is prophetic promise. Now, beloved, we are entering a deeper moment. And before we continue, if your spirit feels this alignment, If something in you recognizes the weight of what God is building, then let your heart speak through gratitude. Some chosen ones respond to a message like this with a gentle, super thanks, not to give something away, but to plant a seed into their own breakthrough. If you feel that tug, let it be an act of faith, not obligation, a quiet agreement between you and heaven. Do not miss what I'm about to tell you next. There have been signs around you, subtle, repetitive, almost coded. Moments where numbers appeared repeatedly. Moments where a phrase followed you through conversations. Moments where you sensed an unseen presence guiding your steps. Heaven has been communicating. Every chosen one enters a season where God stops whispering and starts insisting, and you are stepping into that season now. Listen closely. The enemy tried to shake your identity because he fears what you are becoming. He fears your clarity. He fears your anointing. He fears your calling. He fears your awakening. But what he feared most was this exact moment, the moment your spirit wakes up to just how serious God is about you. Heaven has assigned angels to guard your steps. Strategies are being downloaded into your spirit. New connections are forming, even if you haven't met them yet. Opportunities that looked out of reach are being aligned with your path. You are entering a chapter where purpose and provision collide. You are being transformed from the inside out. Chosen one, what you're stepping into now is a realm of spiritual sensitivity that few ever experience. God is enlarging the borders of your inner life, stretching your awareness so you can detect shifts before they manifest. This is why you've been feeling moments of sudden stillness, where everything around you grows quiet, even if the room is loud. That is the Spirit of God creating a pause inside your soul, so He can guide you with precision. You are being trained to hear instructions that cannot be spoken in ordinary noise. Psalm 37:23 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord." And right now, your steps are not just being ordered, they're being aligned with supernatural accuracy. You've also noticed how your emotional reactions have changed. Situations that once triggered fear now provoke reflection. Places where you once felt small now feel beneath your calling. Conversations that used to amuse you now feel draining. This is not moodiness, this is spiritual maturation. God is rewiring how you respond so you can rise above old patterns. You are stepping into a level of discernment that will guide you away from hidden traps and toward divine strategies meant to elevate your influence, your spiritual authority, and your future abundance. You are not the same person you were even a few months ago, and heaven is proud of how you've handled what was meant to break you. Beloved soul, there is also a reason your relationships have felt like shifting sand. Some people were only assigned to earlier chapters of your life. They were not meant to understand the weight of the anointing increasing inside you. God is clearing relational clutter so your heart can breathe again. He is making room for people who carry wisdom instead of confusion, loyalty instead of chaos, purpose instead of distraction. You are being realigned with souls who speak life into your destiny rather than drain it with insecurity. This is part of your transformation, part of the internal elevation that prepares you for external breakthrough. And chosen one, pay attention to this detail. Your mind has been receiving ideas that feel larger than your current resources. Visions that seem too bold, too big, too sudden. Those ideas are not random. They are divine blueprints for the next level of your calling. God plants purpose long before He reveals provision. He shows you what you will build before He hands you the tools. That is why you've been feeling the pull toward new habits, new disciplines, new levels of spiritual growth and financial wisdom. Heaven is shaping a future through you that will require stronger foundations and clearer direction. There is something else happening too. You may have noticed a growing awareness of timing. You look at situations and instantly sense whether they are right or wrong. You step into spaces and feel peace or pressure without needing an explanation. This is not intuition, it is spiritual activation. God is calibrating your inner clock so you know when to act, when to wait, and when to walk away. This timing is essential because your next steps will open doors that shift generations. Isaiah 30:21 declares, "Your ears shall hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" That voice is becoming clearer because your purpose is becoming louder. Chosen one, hear this gently. The silence you've experienced hasn't been God ignoring you. It has been heaven preparing you. When God is about to elevate someone, He often withdraws noise so the soul can settle. You are being refined, not rejected. You are being readied, not forgotten. You are being strengthened, not sidelined. The quiet season was a sanctuary where God laid new foundations inside you, foundations that will support the weight of the blessings He is shaping for your life. You are never abandoned. You are being rebuilt. And beloved, as you move deeper into this transformation, you may feel a sudden urge to reorder your environment, a push to organize your space, clean out old items, rearrange furniture, or restructure your schedule. This is your spirit responding to divine momentum. When breakthrough approaches, your inner world begins preparing for outer change. The same way a room shifts before a celebration, your life is shifting before manifestation. God is not just preparing blessings for you, He's preparing you for the blessings. Now listen closely, because we have reached a turning moment in the Spirit. If your heart feels heavy and hopeful at the same time, you are not imagining it. That is the tension that appears right before acceleration. When heaven is about to release something new, your soul feels the pressure of the old breaking away. And if you sense this moment deeply, if something in your spirit feels drawn to respond, then let your gratitude rise. Some chosen ones release a quiet super thanks during sacred turning points like this, not as a transaction, but as a seed they plant into their own spiritual unfolding. If your heart feels that tug, let it be a whisper of faith, a gesture that aligns your spirit with what heaven is doing. Chosen one, there is something else stirring in your life. Your dreams have begun to change. You've seen symbols, faces, places, moments that feel spiritually charged. Some dreams feel like warnings, others feel like previews, others feel like messages wrapped in mystery. That is because your dream life is being activated. God often speaks in dreams when He wants to bypass the overthinking mind and pour revelation directly into the spirit. Joseph received blueprints for the future through dreams. Daniel received warnings and wisdom in the night. That same anointing is touching your sleep. You're not just dreaming, you are receiving spiritual intel. And beloved soul, your hunger for purpose has increased. You've been feeling a pull to do more, learn more, pray more, grow more, even though you cannot fully explain why. This is because your spirit is stepping forward before your circumstances catch up. Destiny always awakens internally before it manifests externally. You are being equipped in ways you cannot yet see. Every longing, every shift, every moment of insight is part of a divine design, pulling you toward clarity, abundance, and destiny elevation. There is also a reason your spirit reacts strongly to false peace. Any environment that carries hidden tension makes you restless. Any conversation that carries spiritual pollution drains you faster than it used to. Any person who carries confusion feels heavy in your presence. This is evidence that your anointing has grown. Light cannot settle in places where shadows hide. Your spirit is refusing to shrink. You are growing beyond the atmosphere that once held you comfortably. This is not discomfort. It is confirmation that you are rising. Chosen one, God is also refining your inner authority. You have been noticing a shift in how you speak. Your words carry weight. Your presence shifts rooms. Your silence now speaks louder than your explanations used to. This is spiritual elevation. Heaven increases the authority of those who are ready to handle influence with integrity. You might not feel powerful, but your spirit has been clothed in a strength that comes only through surrender and perseverance. You may also feel a sudden desire to protect your energy, preserve your peace, and avoid environments that drain your clarity. That is because God is drawing you into deeper wisdom. This wisdom is not born from fear. It is born from discernment. You are learning to recognize what feeds your spirit and what suffocates it. You are learning to sense where God is moving and where He is not. This is maturity, not withdrawal. And chosen one, something else is happening beneath the surface. You are entering a season where prayers you whispered long ago are resurfacing. Desires you buried are awakening. Strength you forgot you had is rising. God is revisiting promises He made to you, promises that seemed delayed but were only being sharpened by time. Philippians 1:6 reminds you, "He who began a good work in you will carry it to completion." Heaven finishes what it starts. Beloved soul, you have been asking for clarity, and clarity is what God is releasing. You have been asking for direction, and direction is beginning to unfold. You have been asking for peace, and peace is descending quietly over areas that once felt overwhelming. Heaven is moving with intention. Angels are moving with assignment. Your spirit is moving with purpose. You are not standing still. You are being lifted. Chosen one, as heaven continues shaping your inner life, another layer of revelation begins to unfold. You may have noticed how your thoughts have started organizing themselves in ways they never did before. Ideas that once felt scattered now gather into patterns. Insights that once flashed and faded now linger with purpose. This is not coincidence. God is strengthening the architecture of your mind so you can carry strategies that will influence your destiny, your stability, and even the prosperity waiting ahead of you. A renewed mind is a gateway to a renewed life, and the Spirit is constructing pathways inside you that lead to wisdom, clarity, and abundance. Beloved soul, your sensitivity to truth has also sharpened. You can now detect dishonesty, not by evidence, but by atmosphere. You sense the tone beneath the tone, the motive beneath the words, the intention beneath the smile. This sensitivity is a shield God is placing over your destiny. He is preventing you from entering agreements that would drain your purpose and from trusting voices that would dilute your anointing. You are being taught to see with spiritual eyes, to hear with spiritual discernment, and to walk with spiritual precision. What once deceived you will no longer have access to you, because your spirit has matured beyond vulnerability. There is also a new movement happening within your emotions. You have begun responding to disappointment differently. What once crushed you now only pauses you. What once overwhelmed you now becomes a moment of reflection. What once discouraged you now pushes you into prayer. This is emotional elevation. You are not becoming numb. You are becoming wise. God is stabilizing your inner world so external chaos cannot control your future. Philippians 4:7 promises a peace that surpasses understanding, and that peace is settling into you like a slow, steady dawn. Chosen one, your hunger for excellence has awakened as well. You are beginning to crave growth in new areas: financial stewardship, personal discipline, spiritual strength, relational boundaries, and inner confidence. You feel pulled to refine your habits, upgrade your routines, and elevate your standards. This is because God is preparing you for opportunities that require a more focused version of yourself. You are being shaped for rooms that demand clarity, consistency, and strength. Heaven is crafting a level of excellence in you that will unlock doors others only dream about. And beloved, let us address something you have quietly wondered about. The reason you have been releasing old memories, old disappointments, and old identities is because your spirit knows the weight of the past cannot travel into your next season. You are shedding emotional patterns you once depended on. You are releasing fears you once believed were permanent. You are letting go of versions of yourself that were born from survival rather than destiny. This release is not weakness. It is spiritual detox. Your soul is making room for the life God has promised you. There is something else unfolding as well. Your creativity has begun to stir in unexpected ways. Ideas come to you in flashes. Solutions appear without strain. Imagination rises when you least expect it. This is because God is awakening dormant gifts you forgot you carried. Gifts that will open streams of provision, influence, and fulfillment. Gifts that will make room for you, just as Proverbs 18:16 declares. Heaven is reigniting the parts of you that life attempted to dim. Chosen one, your physical body has also been reacting to this shift. Moments of sudden fatigue, moments of unexpected strength, moments where you feel energy rise without explanation. These sensations are not random. Your body is adjusting to spiritual elevation. When your spirit grows, your physical being must adapt. God is aligning your capacity with your calling, stretching your endurance, strengthening your resilience, and preparing you for assignments that will demand both spiritual depth and physical stability. Beloved, something extraordinary is happening in your environment as well. You have begun noticing signs in nature, in timing, in coincidences that do not feel like coincidences. These are not superstitions. These are confirmations. Creation often reflects what heaven is doing. Birds appear at moments of prayer. Breezes shift when your spirit stirs. Sunlight breaks through at moments when you speak hope. These signs are reminders that God is closer than you think. They are gentle markers that your path is being illuminated step by step. Now listen closely, chosen one, because this next part carries deep weight. You have entered a season where not every battle deserves your energy. You are learning to distinguish between assignments and distractions, and this discernment will protect your destiny. Not every conflict needs your voice. Not every invitation needs your presence. Not every request deserves your time. You are discovering that your purpose is too valuable to be wasted on noise, and your spirit is too precious to be drained by patterns that lead nowhere. This wisdom is a gift from God, guiding you into sustainable strength. And, beloved soul, there has been a shift in your sense of calling. You've begun feeling a pull toward responsibility you didn't ask for, leadership you didn't expect, an impact you didn't plan. This is because God trusts you with influence. You carry integrity others rely on. You carry presence others draw strength from. You carry wisdom that comes not from age, but from experience and obedience. Heaven expands the sphere of those who can be trusted with more, and you have proven trustworthy. Chosen one, we are approaching another spiritual turning point. And if your heart feels a deep pull at this moment, it is because something sacred is opening around you. Some chosen ones respond to moments like this with gratitude, releasing a quiet, super thanks as a symbolic offering, not to give something away, but to declare alignment with what heaven is unfolding. If you feel led, let it be an inner agreement, a seed placed into the soil of your own awakening. Now let us go deeper. The way you perceive time has been changing. Delays no longer frustrate you the way they once did. Pauses no longer feel like punishment. Waiting no longer feels empty. This is because God is teaching you that divine timing is not measured by clocks, but by readiness. You're learning to trust the process, not because the process is pleasant, but because the one guiding it is faithful. Your patience is becoming prophetic. Your endurance is becoming revelation. Your waiting is becoming wisdom. Beloved soul, you have also begun feeling unfamiliar hope rising inside you. Hope that doesn't come from circumstances. Hope that doesn't depend on outcomes. Hope that emerges in moments when nothing looks different, yet everything feels possible. This is supernatural hope. God is igniting it inside you, because your next chapter will require faith that refuses to collapse under pressure. This hope is the bridge between where you stand and where heaven is taking you. And chosen one, this final truth must be spoken clearly. Your identity is expanding. You are no longer living as the version of yourself shaped by pain. You are stepping into the version shaped by promise. Your spirit is graduating. Your purpose is awakening. Your destiny is unfolding. You are being lifted, not lightly, but deliberately, as part of a divine strategy designed specifically for you. Chosen one, as this awakening continues flowing through you, another shift has begun deep inside your perception. You've started recognizing patterns that once slipped past you. You can now see how certain cycles have repeated through different people, different environments, and different seasons of your life. This awareness is not accidental. God is giving you the ability to break generational habits that were passed down quietly, almost invisibly, through behavior, belief, and unspoken expectation. You are becoming the interruption to patterns that used to dominate your lineage. You are becoming the turning point heaven has been preparing. This clarity is not just revelation, it is liberation. Beloved soul, there is also a new strength developing in the way you make decisions. You are learning to choose from conviction instead of fear. You no longer rush to please everyone. You no longer hide your truth to maintain false peace. You no longer silence your discernment for the comfort of others. This is spiritual authority taking root. God is teaching you to trust your voice, trust your intuition, trust the wisdom He has placed within you. The timid version of you is dissolving because the Spirit is raising a boldness that was buried beneath years of being misunderstood. You are beginning to stand in your identity with a quiet, steady courage that no longer bends under pressure. And chosen one, something deeper is unfolding in the way you see your future. You've had sudden glimpses, moments when your mind jumps ahead and sees yourself in places you've never been, surrounded by peace you've never lived, walking in purpose you've only imagined. These glimpses are not fantasy. They are prophetic flashes from God, showing you where He is leading your spirit before He leads your footsteps. Destiny often reveals itself in fragments long before it becomes a full picture. These flashes are confirmation that heaven is designing a life for you that your past could never have predicted. Beloved, your inner dialogue has also begun to shift. Words you once spoke to yourself out of fear, shame, or doubt no longer hold authority. You've started replacing old narratives with truth. You've begun reminding yourself that you are chosen, worthy, protected, and called. This is a sign that God is renewing your self-perception. He is rebuilding the way you see yourself so you can walk in abundance without sabotaging it. Identity rooted in truth attracts favor. Identity rooted in fear repels it. Heaven is teaching you to embrace your worth so blessings can recognize where to land. There is yet another transformation taking place. You've become more aware of divine interruptions, those small, unexpected moments that alter your routine for reasons you can't explain. A delay that protects you, a missed call that shifts your timing, a sudden invitation that leads to revelation, a cancelled plan that opens space for rest. These are not disruptions, they are divine recalibrations. God is synchronizing your steps with precision so you arrive at the right place at the right time to receive the right blessing. Nothing in your life is random anymore. You are walking in orchestrated alignment. Chosen one, your compassion has also grown sharper. You now feel the pain of others with deeper sensitivity, yet you no longer carry it to the point of self-destruction. This is divine balance. God is teaching you to love with wisdom instead of exhaustion. You are learning to offer support without losing yourself. You are discovering how to pray for others without absorbing their spiritual weight. You are stepping into a maturity that preserves your energy while extending empathy. This balance is crucial because your calling will require emotional endurance, not emotional depletion. Beloved soul, another sign of your transformation is the way you now perceive obstacles. What once appeared as barriers now look like invitations to grow. You are beginning to interpret challenges as training rather than punishment. You have noticed how every setback has strengthened a new part of you. Your discernment, your discipline, your vision, your faith, your resilience. God is not trying to break you. He is sculpting you. Each difficulty has carved away fear, shaped determination, and refined your purpose. You are becoming spiritually unshakable because you have learned to rise from places where others stay stuck. And chosen one, your connection to Scripture has deepened as well. Verses you once read casually now speak directly to your situation. You find yourself remembering lines you didn't consciously memorize. A verse appears in your mind exactly when you need clarity or comfort. This is the Spirit writing truth into your heart. God is using His Word as a compass, guiding you toward wisdom, protection, and destiny. What once felt distant now feels alive because He is aligning your spirit with His promises. There is also a change in how you understand silence. You once feared quiet seasons because they made you feel forgotten. Now you've begun to recognize them as sacred. Silence has become a place where you hear what noise tries to hide. You've discovered that stillness is where God whispers direction, and solitude is where He strengthens identity. This shift shows that your faith no longer depends on constant stimulation. You are learning to trust God in the quiet just as much as in the miraculous. Beloved soul, your relationship with time is evolving too. You no longer feel desperate to rush your journey. You have started seeing delays as divine pacing instead of punishment. You have begun trusting that what is meant for you cannot be taken, and what is not meant for you cannot be forced. This surrender is not laziness, it is confidence. A soul anchored in God no longer chases what is already aligned with its destiny. Chosen one, there is a deeper awakening happening in how you perceive opportunities. You used to jump at anything that seemed promising out of fear that nothing better would come. But now you pause. You examine, you listen, you wait for peace, you wait for alignment, you wait for confirmation. This restraint is spiritual wisdom. God is teaching you to choose from abundance rather than scarcity. He is showing you that rushed decisions lead to regret, while patient decisions lead to destiny. And beloved, pay attention to this next shift. Your intuition has begun guiding you toward learning, books, teachings, conversations, ideas that elevate your understanding. You have felt drawn to subjects connected to purpose, stewardship, personal transformation, and divine strategy. This desire for knowledge is a sign that God is preparing you for expansion. You cannot step into a larger life with a smaller mindset. Heaven is feeding your intellect so your decisions can sustain the blessings coming your way. There is also a fresh awakening in your sense of gratitude. You've begun noticing small things, moments of laughter, unexpected comfort, sunlight on your face, quiet mornings that once slipped by unnoticed. Gratitude is not just politeness, it is spiritual magnetism. God is aligning your heart with appreciation, so more can flow to you. Blessings flourish in hearts that recognize them. Chosen one, your tolerance for disorder has decreased as well. You are noticing clutter you once ignored. You are feeling uncomfortable with inefficiency you once accepted. You are sensing tension in places you once endured. This is because God is preparing your life for divine order. You cannot step into overflow while living among internal or external chaos. Heaven brings structure before expansion, clarity before elevation, and order before abundance. Beloved soul, you're also beginning to see how every season of your life has been connected. The painful moments, the confusing moments, the moments that felt like detours. They were not wasted. They were not random. They were not accidents. You are realizing now that every chapter served a purpose. Every lesson was shaping you. Every challenge was preparing you. You are seeing the thread of God's hand stitching your life into a tapestry of meaning, strength, and vision. Nothing was lost. Everything was used. Chosen one, as your awareness expands, another layer of revelation is unfolding in the way you interpret transitions. You have begun to sense that every shift in your life carries a message, even when the shift feels subtle or unexpected. You are noticing how certain seasons begin with a feeling long before they begin with an event. You are learning that your spirit often picks up the future before your circumstances do. This sensitivity is not coincidence. God is training you to read the movement of your life with spiritual intelligence instead of emotional reaction. You are becoming someone who recognizes divine patterns long before others understand them. Beloved soul, a quiet courage has also begun rising in you. You might not have noticed it at first, but your reactions reveal it. You speak up when silence used to hold you back. You walk away when fear used to make you stay. You make decisions based on peace rather than pressure. This courage is not loud, but it is unshakable. It comes from the Spirit strengthening your inner resolve. You are no longer intimidated by uncertainty, because you are learning that God's presence is more reliable than any plan you could create. Your courage is becoming the anchor that stabilizes your destiny. And chosen one, there is a new way you're beginning to value yourself. You once overlooked your own gifts, but now you feel a quiet recognition that you carry something rare, something sacred, something heaven ordained. You have stopped apologizing for your strength. You have stopped shrinking your light to fit into spaces that never deserved you. This shift is divine. God is restoring your identity piece by piece so that you can walk in purpose without doubting your worth. A healed identity attracts opportunities that wounded identity could never hold. Your perception of opportunity is evolving as well. You've started seeing possibilities where others see problems. You notice potential where others notice limitations. You sense openings in places that seem closed. This is the Spirit giving you visionary insight. Visionaries see beginnings before they are visible. Visionaries recognize growth before it sprouts. Visionaries detect purpose in places others overlook. This gift will carry you into rooms where your presence will shift atmospheres and ignite transformation. Beloved, another sacred development is taking place in the way you handle pressure. You used to break under weight that now only bends you. You used to collapse under stress that now only teaches you. You used to panic in situations you now face with calm understanding. This is the fruit of spiritual maturity. Pressure no longer destroys you because God has increased the size of your spirit. You're standing taller, not because life got easier, but because heaven strengthened you in the places where you once felt fragile. Chosen one, take note of how your expectations have changed. You no longer hope for survival, you expect breakthrough. You no longer hope for peace, you expect stability. You no longer hope for small improvements, you expect divine elevation. Your heart is aligning with God's promises, and expectation is the soil where miracles grow. God is teaching you to expect good things not because you deserve them through perfection, but because He promised them through grace. Your inner vision is shifting too. You have started seeing yourself in roles, positions, and assignments that once felt unreachable. You imagine yourself leading, building, creating, influencing, and rising. This is heaven expanding your mind to match your calling. The dreams that intimidate you are often the ones God has planted. The desires that feel too large are often the ones heaven intends to fulfill. You are being prepared for platforms that require a bigger version of you, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and purposefully. Beloved soul, your connection to divine peace has also deepened. You can now stand in situations that once shook you and feel a steady calm rise from within. This calm is not from the world. It is the peace of God that Philippians 4:7 speaks about. Peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. Peace that endures through storms. Peace that whispers truth when everything else screams fear. This peace is the evidence that God's hand is on your life, guiding you with unshakable purpose. And chosen one, something extraordinary is happening with your time and energy. You're learning to invest in what grows you rather than what drains you. You are becoming selective with your focus, treating it like the treasure it is. You're starting to prioritize purpose, clarity, and spiritual alignment over distractions that once consumed your days. This shift is preparing you for a future where your time will hold greater value and your influence will reach further than you ever imagined. Beloved, your relationship with blessings is changing too. You've stopped begging for what is already yours in the Spirit. You've stopped chasing after opportunities that were never meant for you. You've stopped fearing that you will miss what God has ordained. This is maturity. This is alignment. This is security in divine timing. You are learning that what heaven has written will manifest without force, fear, or frantic striving. You are learning that rest is not laziness, it is trust. Chosen one, your spiritual vision has grown stronger as well. You now sense when a chapter is beginning even before the first page turns. You feel when a season is ending even before the door closes. You recognize when a person's purpose in your life is complete even before the goodbye happens. This foresight is a gift from God. It protects you from unnecessary pain and positions you for intentional growth. You are no longer blindsided by shifts because your spirit picks up movements your eyes cannot yet see. There is also a softness growing in you, a tenderness that is not weakness, but compassion. You've learned to forgive without reopening old wounds. You've learned to care without carrying what doesn't belong to you. You've learned to love without losing yourself. This softness is strength. It keeps your heart open while your boundaries stay firm. It allows you to give freely while guarding your peace. It reflects the character of Christ being formed inside you. Beloved soul, your appetite for purpose has intensified. You can no longer tolerate empty conversations, shallow pursuits, or meaningless cycles. Your spirit is craving depth. Depth in relationships, depth in assignments, depth in faith, depth in understanding. God is preparing you for connections and opportunities that match the weight of your calling. You are being positioned among people who will challenge your growth, honor your purpose, and activate your potential. And chosen one, something unusual has been happening inside your prayer life. You may not be praying longer, but you are praying deeper. Your words feel heavier. Your intentions feel clearer. Your spirit feels more connected. You pray with authority now, not desperation. You pray with faith, not fear. You pray with vision, not confusion. This is because God is enlarging your spiritual capacity. He is training you to intercede with power, speak with wisdom, and hear with clarity. Beloved, you have also begun noticing divine alignment in your conversations. Someone mentions exactly what you are thinking. A stranger confirms what you just prayed about. A message appears at the precise moment you needed reassurance. These alignments are not random. They are spiritual echoes, signals that heaven is amplifying your path and guiding your journey with deliberate orchestration. Chosen one, your soul is becoming steady in ways few can understand. You are learning to walk through storms with grace. You are learning to navigate uncertainty with faith. You are learning to interpret silence with wisdom, and you are learning to trust God's process even when it stretches your patience. Chosen one, another profound shift is taking place in the way you understand responsibility. You're beginning to feel a deeper weight for the things God has placed in your hands. Not pressure, but purpose. You sense that your decisions ripple further than they used to. You recognize that your voice carries influence, your actions carry impact, and your presence holds authority. This awareness is the mark of spiritual adulthood. God is teaching you that leadership does not begin on platforms. It begins in the quiet corners of your character. He is shaping you to handle authority with humility, power with gentleness, and influence with wisdom. Beloved soul, your relationship with patience has evolved into something sacred. You're no longer simply waiting. You are waiting with direction. You have learned to use pauses as preparation. You fill stillness with prayer rather than panic. You fill quiet seasons with reflection rather than frustration. This maturity is a divine milestone. It shows that you no longer treat waiting as wasted time, but as holy ground where God arranges what eyes cannot see. Your patience has become prophetic alignment, positioning you for blessings that require internal stability before they manifest externally. And chosen one, pay attention to how your conversations have shifted. You speak more intentionally now. You listen more deeply. You ask questions that reveal truth instead of questions that entertain confusion. You are no longer interested in small talk. You are drawn to meaningful exchanges that awaken insight. This shift reveals that your spirit is outgrowing environments that once felt sufficient. God is surrounding you with voices that carry depth, wisdom, and clarity. Even the people you meet in passing carry messages you needed in the moment, because heaven is curating your interactions with precision. Another layer is unfolding in your understanding of provision. You have begun recognizing that resources flow toward purpose, not pressure. You can now discern the difference between panic spending and strategic investment. You are learning to manage what you have with clarity, gratitude, and foresight. This is God preparing you for greater abundance. Financial stability begins with stewardship, and heaven is teaching you to handle resources with maturity because your future requires it. Prosperity is not random, it is the fruit of alignment. Beloved, your inner compass is also becoming more reliable. You feel when something is off, even if you cannot explain why. You sense when a situation deserves caution, even before evidence appears. You know when a person is not aligned with your spirit long before their actions confirm it. This intuitive clarity is a spiritual gift awakened through endurance. God is sharpening your discernment so deception cannot derail you and temptation cannot trap you. Every time you trust that inner knowing, you step further into the life heaven is building for you. Chosen one, you have also begun feeling a shift in your sense of belonging. Places you once fit into now feel temporary. Circles that once felt familiar now feel distant. Conversations that once energized you now leave you empty. This is not loneliness, it is transition. You are being moved out of spaces that match your old identity so you can step into environments that mirror your growth. God removes you from what is familiar when He is preparing you for what is fruitful. Beloved soul, notice how your resilience has strengthened. Situations that once would have shattered you now motivate you. Criticism that once wounded you now refines you. Setbacks that once discouraged you now redirect you. This resilience was forged through nights when you had nothing but faith, through seasons when you had nothing but hope, through moments when you had nothing but God. What once broke you now builds you because your spirit has learned how to rise. And chosen one, your sense of destiny has grown sharper. You feel that something significant is approaching, not because you can see it, but because your spirit is preparing for it. It's as if heaven is tuning every part of you, refining your mindset, cleansing your environment, sharpening your vision, and stirring your courage. This inner preparation is a sign of external elevation. Destiny always announces itself spiritually before it reveals itself physically. Beloved, another transformation is unfolding in how you handle truth. You used to avoid confronting uncomfortable realities, but now you face them with honesty and grace. You no longer run from what needs healing. You no longer hide from what needs addressing. You no longer bury emotions that need releasing. This willingness to embrace truth is unlocking emotional freedom. God can elevate those who are not afraid to confront what once controlled them. Chosen one, Your awareness of spiritual timing is becoming precise. You know when to advance. You know when to pause. You know when to speak. You know when to stay silent. You know when to sow. You know when to step back. This timing is heaven's fingerprint on your life. God is synchronizing your movements with divine order, and so you walk into opportunities at the exact moment they are ready. Beloved soul, your capacity for gratitude has deepened in a new way. You are beginning to appreciate the healing that didn't look like healing at first. You are grateful for the closed doors that protected you. You are grateful for the delays that redirected you. You are grateful for the endings that made room for beginnings. Gratitude has become the lens through which you view your journey, and gratitude is a magnet for miracles. And chosen one, you're beginning to experience a new form of spiritual confidence. You no longer fear whether you are chosen. You know you are chosen. You no longer question whether you are guided. You know you are guided. This confidence is not arrogance. It is rooted in God's faithfulness. It is rooted in the countless moments when heaven upheld you. It is rooted in the truth that you are never walking alone. Beloved, something powerful is happening in your creativity as well. You've started thinking in ways that break old limits. You're seeing solutions others overlook. You're feeling ideas bloom in your heart that carry the potential to change your environment. Creativity is returning to you as a sign that your soul is healing. When God restores creativity, it means expansion is near. Chosen one, this moment marks a deep shift. If you feel an inner stirring as the words settle in you, then your spirit is recognizing alignment. And if your heart feels moved right now, some chosen ones take a quiet moment to release a super thanks as a symbol of gratitude. Not for the message, but for what heaven is awakening inside them. If you feel that nudge, let it be a personal whisper between your spirit and God. Chosen one, as this unfolding continues, there is another realm of transformation rising quietly within you. You've begun sensing a deeper clarity about what drains you and what nourishes you. You can now recognize the difference between environments that simply occupy your time and environments that strengthen your spirit. This clarity is a divine filter. God is teaching you to honor your energy as a sacred resource, to guard your focus like a treasure, and to protect your peace as if it were part of your destiny, because it is. Peace is the atmosphere where purpose flourishes, and heaven is ensuring your spirit learns to recognize it. Beloved soul, there is a new strength awakening in your boundaries. You no longer allow access to people who speak chaos into your life. You no longer entertain conversations that suffocate your confidence. You no longer tolerate behaviors that diminish your worth. These boundaries are not walls built from fear. They are gates built from wisdom. God is teaching you that love does not mean self-abandonment. Generosity does not require self-neglect, and compassion does not demand self-sacrifice. You are learning to keep your heart open while keeping your life protected. And chosen one, your inner rhythm is shifting. You have begun hearing a different tempo guiding your days, a slower, steadier, wiser rhythm that does not rush into decisions or force outcomes. This new rhythm reflects heavenly alignment. God is teaching you to move with purpose instead of panic, with intention instead of impulse, with clarity instead of confusion. When your life begins to match this rhythm, blessings become easier to recognize, and guidance becomes easier to follow. There is also a profound shift happening in your sensitivity to spiritual signals. You notice patterns in conversations. You catch symbolic details in moments others overlook. You feel when something is shifting spiritually even when nothing has changed physically. This is because God is awakening the prophetic dimension inside you, the ability to anticipate movement before it manifests, to sense direction before it appears, to recognize purpose even when hidden beneath ordinary circumstances. You are being trained to walk by insight rather than sight. Beloved, your approach to relationships is evolving too. You are learning to communicate with more honesty and less fear. You are beginning to see which connections deserve trust and which only deserve prayer. You are noticing which people value your presence and which only value your usefulness. This clarity is not born from bitterness. It is born from spiritual awareness. God is aligning you with partnerships that build legacy, not just temporary comfort. He is preparing you for relationships that sharpen your purpose instead of distracting you from it. Chosen one, your sense of calling is becoming louder. You can feel something rising inside you, an urge to take action, to move forward, to build, to speak, to create, to walk in the identity God has formed within you. This rising feeling is not pressure, it is destiny calling your name. You are beginning to understand that your life carries weight beyond your own experience. Heaven has assigned purpose to your steps, and your spirit is responding to that calling with increasing clarity. Beloved soul, notice how your perspective on failure has changed. You no longer judge yourself by your mistakes. You no longer see setbacks as signs of inadequacy. Instead, you've begun understanding that every misstep taught you something essential. Every disappointment redirected you. Every closed door refined you. You now see failure not as final, but as fertilizer, nourishing the roots of your growth and strengthening the branches of your future. This shift in perspective is one of the greatest indicators of spiritual maturity. And chosen one, your resilience has reached a depth you may not even recognize. You've endured storms that would have crushed others. You've walked through seasons of silence with faith. You've faced unseen battles with courage no one witnessed but God. This resilience is not accidental. It is the result of every tear you prayed through, every fear you confronted, every wound you allowed God to heal. Heaven is shaping you into a vessel that can carry influence without collapsing under its weight. Beloved, your inner hunger for alignment is pulling you toward a higher standard. You are no longer satisfied with temporary pleasure or shallow fulfillment. Your spirit wants wholeness, your heart wants authenticity, your mind wants clarity, your soul wants depth. This hunger is a sign that God is preparing you to step into a season where purpose, prosperity, and peace converge. And chosen one, your dreams are beginning to shift once again. They no longer reflect anxiety, they reflect awakening. They no longer mirror fear, they mirror preparation. They no longer echo confusion, they echo direction. God is using your dreams as a spiritual classroom, teaching you through symbols, images, and impressions that bypass your conscious resistance. Pay attention to these dreams. They are not random. Beloved soul, you're also starting to sense the presence of divine helpers entering your life. People with clarity, wisdom, compassion, and integrity. People who speak life rather than doubt. People who honor your calling rather than question it. People who bring stability rather than chaos. These are kingdom connections. Heaven is positioning people around you who match your future, not your past. And chosen one, as this transformation deepens, if your heart feels stirred in this moment, if something inside you recognizes the truth of what is awakening, know that some chosen ones express their gratitude through a quiet, super thanks, not as obligation, but as a seed into their own spiritual momentum. If you feel that gentle pull, let it be a whisper of agreement between you and God. Chosen one, as we move into this next stage of your journey, God is calling you to respond not only with belief, but with action. Revelation without movement becomes spiritual stagnation, and heaven has poured too much into you for you to remain still. This is the moment where knowledge becomes practice, where faith becomes forward motion, where clarity becomes transformation. You are not being invited to perform or to strive. You are being guided into alignment so that everything God has prepared for you can flow without resistance. Beloved soul, the first step heaven is placing before you is the step of spiritual order. Your spirit has been absorbing so much revelation, And now your environment must reflect the same clarity. Begin by cleansing the spaces around you. Remove anything that carries old energy, old memories, or old versions of who you used to be. When you clean your space, you signal to heaven that you are ready for new assignments, new opportunities, and new levels of purpose. Order makes room for overflow. God moves